My fellow fighters and the people of the world. Every time I listen to Floyd Shivambu, all I hear is the voice of Mcebo Dlamini saying, there will always be funding for an anti-Julius Malema agenda. That's all I hear. Yeah, I hear Floyd speaking in riddles, speaking in Tozake, tripping over himself, trying to discredit the EFF so bad. But that voice always comes in my head, repeatedly, trying to remind me that some of these things, they're not done in good faith. There's funding behind people trying to sabotage and destroy the EFF. That gives me hope that these people don't have credibility. They're just doing it for whatever is feeding them. Floyd is busy saying that, hey, Yazin, let me not even tell you. I want you to hear for yourself. Listen to this.
Part of the reasons, even if there was no MK, even if I was not going to do anything, one of the things that I was not comfortable with throughout my years in parliament, the 10 years in parliament, was a culture of disruption and rudeness that characterized those that we served with. And all of those things were just planned, like, in a childish way, with no purpose. Sometimes even when there are areas of agreement, you realize that on this question we can agree. Why don't we sit down and agree on this issue and then we'll raise our issues robust? No, today we're going to disrupt. It was not something that happened spontaneous. It was planned in a meeting. And I can tell you now that there was only one person who initiated those disruptions. It was not the leadership collective. And that was mistaken to be said so-called militancy and radicalism. And we kept on asking, how does this relate to voters on the ground or to the people that sent us here? And that is why some of those things, there is 600,000 lesser people who voted for that organization because they realized, but we sent you to represent us there, but you are grandstanding. So it's one of the things which, even if there was no MK or any other thing, we were going to disassociate from. And we raised it internally. What is the strategic value? What is the tactical value even?
That's what he says. Imagine Floyd saying this. I only have one question to all those people who are busy calling him a think tank. I only have one question for you guys. And don't be hypocrite. Be real with yourselves. Because many of you are just clownish, hypocritical people. Be real. At least be a stand-up G for once. A question is, if Floyd was really the think tank of the EFF, why were they following Julius Malema? Everything Julius Malema says. Why were they following Julius Malema if Floyd was really the think tank? Why? That question, you guys will never answer that question. You always have excuses to beat around that question. If Floyd, if Shivambu and all of these people you give credit to, if they were think tanks, why is it that Floyd is saying they were busy listening to Julius Malema? Julius Malema told them, go create chaos, and they went and created chaos. So if Floyd was the think tank, why was Julius Malema the one running the brains? That question, they will never answer it. They will never even attempt to answer that question. All they will bring is a bunch of excuses. No, you know, Julius Malema is a cult leader, pela here. Okay, it's cool. We know you won't answer it because you have nothing to go against that question. Now, Floyd is saying that all those disruptive moments in parliament, it was not because of him. They were told by Julius Malema, go and disrupt. Yeah, now, in most cases, he wanted to agree with the ANC. But because Julius Malema didn't want, he didn't agree. It makes sense now when Julius Malema calls him a coward. These people are cowards, Bafet. And day in, day out, they keep on proving themselves. Day in, day out, they prove themselves of their cowardice and weaknesses as men. Julius Julius said a simple word. These people, and he called Floyd life. He said Floyd Shivambu. He was not saying them, they, he. He said Floyd Shivambu is such a coward. All the things he's busy saying out there, he will never say them in my face, and he has never said them before in my face. He has never. Julius asked him when he left the AFF, when Julius went to his house, he said, Floyd, what is this that I did to you? You said in your letter that I'm no more your president, so you don't have to be scared of me. You can say it and it's fine, I will understand. Floyd kept quiet. He said, there's nothing. It's just a political decision. That's how much of a coward this guy is. Was not even willing to tell the CIC in his face what it is that was making him throw tantrums. He says here, even if there was no MK party, he was going to leave the AFF. So you were waiting for 11 years of the AFF to finally go and join MK party, or to finally leave after 11 years when MK party was there. Floyd is such a liar to the point whereby in order to find out that he's a liar, he's saying even if there was no MK party, he was going to leave the AFF. It was bound for him to leave. The only question, or maybe two questions you can ask yourself: why didn't he leave around 7 years? Yeah? Why didn't he leave around 3 years or 4 years or 8 years or maybe 9 years? Why didn't he leave around 9 years? Why did he continue campaigning for the AFF and speaking for the AFF and saying those things? No, he had to leave when MK party was introduced and MK party got more votes than the AFF. Then he had to leave and go join it. Okay. He says, yeah, even if he was not going to do anything, he was going to leave. Why didn't he leave the MK party and sit down and not do anything and reflect on his life choices? But no, he's hungry for power. He's hungry for leadership. So he started his own thing. In the MK party, after they removed him, he went and do his own thing. What's part with him speaking very bad about the EFF is that the EFF never chased him, Buffett. The EFF never chased Floyd Shivambu. Floyd Shivambu left the EFF. They never chased him. They never fired him. He left. He said it was a political decision, and then he made the best decision ever to join MK party. It's a pity that there's still people who believe this guy when he says something. You believed him when he said MK party is the best decision ever. And then he left it. You still believe him what he's telling you today? You guys must be crazy as hell. You guys must have lost your minds. You still believe him? Everything is saying like, hey, my Ibuya will be different. We're going to change everything. You still believe that? He said that when he was in the AFF. He said that when he was in the MK party. Now he's saying the same thing in the Maibuye. It's nothing new, these things he keeps on saying, except these whole things about Julius and MK party. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. These fake promises, hey, us we're going to be different. We're not going to be like the EFF and distract people. So they are trying to go to parliament so bad. But if you want to in parliament, they won't be destructive. They are hungry to go to parliament. People of South Africa, don't give them even one vote. They must never go to any parliament. Must be unemployed and go look for jobs in the real life. That's what these people deserve. They don't deserve Parliament of South Africa. But what can we say? It is what it is. We thank you very much. Tango.